Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cliff and Sean from Trail Grid Pro. Super pumped to be with you today. We're here to talk about a new partnership that we have secured with MB Quart. Now, MB Quart has entered the Toyota community with a vengeance with this new speaker lineup, which is specifically tailored for your 2016 to 2023 Toyota Tacoma. So, Sean, you're a bit of an expert in the MB Quart territory. So tell us a little bit about MB Quart.
So MB Quart started as a speaker manufacturer in Germany. They made some of the highest end speakers known to the car audio community. So now MB Quart has moved more into the OEM manufacturing side and creating perfect speaker packages for all of our OEM partners.
So not only are these OEM fitment, so what I mean by that is when you take out your Toyota speaker, it's got the speaker, you've got the bracket, which is all built into one, so it's easy for installation. These have that, but there's something very different about these speakers versus, frankly, all the other OEM-like speakers on the market, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, so what MB Quart did is take what you have in the factory, which is in the front doors, you have a 6x9, and in the rear doors, you have a 6.5. Well, they've expanded on that and given you an 8x10 in the front door and a 7-inch coaxial for the rear door.
So they're bigger speakers. We've got bigger speakers than ever before in your Toyota Tacoma. And what's the percentage roughly?
25% bigger.
So 25% more speaker, 8x10s in the front door. Okay, 6x9s are there now. 7-inch speakers in the rear doors. So more speaker, what does more speaker give the Toyota community, Tacoma specifically?
More speaker is going to give you more loudness, more fullness, better mid-bass. You know, you're going to get that fuller, richer sound that, quite frankly, you really want.
So more speaker equals more sound. So we've got an OEM-like solution. It's going to fit directly in the speaker locations you have now, which is going to provide you more speaker, therefore more sound, which is exactly what we're all chomping at the bit for in our Toyotas, and this is a great solution that gets that done.
One of the other things that MB Quart did was they actually put the factory plug directly on the speaker, just like the OEM speaker, so there's no fiddling with anything. You unplug your factory one, you plug this right back in.
All right, Sean, so why don't you take us through what's on the table so everyone will know what they're going to get in their 16 to 23 Tacoma bundle from MB Quart.
All right, excellent. So first we have our front door speakers. So this is an 8x10, already has the factory-esque grill on it. Included in that will be a set of tweeters with the mounts for them, specifically for Toyota. You'll get the crossover for the tweeters that'll go up on top of the dash. And then we have the 7-inch coaxial rear speakers. Again, plug and play. You'll just plug them directly into your factory speaker wires.
If somebody has a factory head unit versus an aftermarket head unit versus a factory JBL amplified system versus an aftermarket amplified system, this is an all-in-one solution. It's going to work with all of those different variations. Obviously, if they have a aftermarket amplifier with a ton of power, you're going to have a better experience, but it will work in all of those applications, correct?
It will absolutely work in all situations. Again, because they are true OEM fitment and plug and play, you don't have any worries about any fitment issues or sound issues.
Perfect. So a comprehensive solution for your Toyota Tacoma, no matter what stage you are in your development of your audio system, whether you just got the factory head unit and you want a better speaker, or you're pumping a big system in your Tacoma, this is a great solution to get you more speakers and more sound in your Tacoma today. Okay, so Sean, we've gone over what's included in the bundle. Let's talk about I'm going to have you slide over here. Let's talk about what tools are needed to get this job done.
So as far as tools, it's a relatively easy installation. As As far as the tools necessary to complete the installation, we're going to need some sort of powered screwdriver or handheld Phillips head screwdriver, some sort of panel removal tool, a 10mm socket, and a pair of side cutters to cut any wire ties for anything that we may want to wire tie up and get out of the way.
Perfect. And how long, just an estimate, would this install take, you know, sort of a novice, handy person, DIYer in their driveway or garage?
You can probably do it in 2.5 hours from start to finish.
Perfect. So 2.5 hours, you've got a completely OEM-like Toyota Tacoma solution, not only getting you better speakers, but more speaker than ever before. It's the only system on the market that we're aware of to get you 8x10s and 7-inch speakers in the rear, which is awesome. So Sean is going to take us through the complete installation today to show you just how easy it is to do this on your own.
So let's begin the disassembly process of our Toyota Tacoma. I'm going to start with the driver's side tweeter, and then we'll move around the vehicle, ending at the passenger side tweeter. So starting here, we're going to use our pry tool, and we're going to need a 10mm open wrench or small socket. I prefer using an open-ended wrench in this case. So first thing you're going to do, gently put your pry tool underneath the top grill and gently pry up until you hear that pop, and then you can just lift it and slide it out towards you. You'll notice there's a couple of pop clips that help hold it in. Just set that aside, making sure it doesn't get damaged. So from there, there's two 10mm bolts holding the factory speaker in. And go ahead, grab our 10mm open-ended wrench, get them loosened up. So we got the first bolt out. Second bolt is out. So now we can just get in here, pull the factory speaker out gently. There's a single connection on the bottom of the speaker. Press in on the clip and remove. So we have to do some assembly before we can put the new MB Quart tweeter in the dash. So you'll notice on the adapter, there are 3 little cutout spots. And on the tweeter itself, it'll have those same 3 spots. So just stick the tweeter wire through, line up those spots, and then just push in. You'll hear a nice good click, and now you know that it's in there. So from there, we're going to go ahead and grab our crossover, and we're going to have to wire them or plug them in together. So one side will have a female spade and one will have a male spade. You'll just match up what you need. So male to the female. And then male to the female. Making sure you hear that click, and then make sure you put that plastic cover back over. So one other thing I like to do is, obviously we have a fair amount of extra wire. I want to make sure I take my wiring and get it as neatly as possible, you know, so we don't have so much wire. Grab a wire tie and just wire tie around, making sure that it's nice and tight, and then go ahead and cut off the end. As far as the installation of these, it'll go in exactly as your factory speaker came out. Now, one thing you do want to note is there's a shorter side and a longer side. The shorter side will go towards the front of the vehicle or the windshield, and then that'll make it sit in nice and perfect. So next we want to take our aftermarket connector that comes with the MB Quart system and our factory plug, and just go ahead and plug that in. Making sure you hear that click, give it a little tug on it, make sure it doesn't come loose. So now we want to make sure, again, short side is going towards the front of the vehicle. We're going to gently place in our crossover, and then place in our speaker, lining it up. So now it's sitting on the top of our dash. We'll go ahead and grab our 2 bolts and get those back in there. And then hand tighten them as far as you can down. Second one is down. Grab our 10mm socket or open-ended wrench, and then just go ahead and tighten that the rest of the way down, snugging it up. Don't go too far extra. We can grab our tweeter cover, lining up those with the front of the dash. And pushing down, and now you're done with your front left tweeter. So now we're going to move on to disassembling the driver's front door. So we have a couple screws and then a couple trim pieces to take off. We have a screw in the door pull, one behind the door handle. We need to pull out the push pin retainer clip here and also remove the mirror trim. So to remove the mirror trim, we're going to grab our panel tool and just gently slide it in behind and push out. Now, these white clips will almost always stay in the vehicle. So what I like to do is my 2 fingers, push in, and then just wiggle out. So push in, wiggle out. And again, I'm just pushing in on the sides here to pull it out. Again, third one, pull it out. As far as the push clip, just push in and remove. When you go to put it back in, you want to make sure that the clip is pushed out. Now we have a screw in the door pull and one behind the door handle. So to get the one behind the door handle, open up on your pull and just stick your panel tool in there, get that to release. And you'll go ahead and remove 1 screw there and 1 screw in the pocket. So you have those 2. Now on these driver's doors, this window switch is sometimes hard to get with the door, or with it still attached to the door. What I like to do is actually remove it. So I'll take my panel popper and just gently get under there, pop it out, and then I can actually unplug it right from here. So you'll unplug the first one, and then the second one, holding it like this, there's a little push. So you're gonna push it while sliding it back, and then just release. Again, setting that to the side. So now all of our screws and pop clips are out. If this is the first time you're taking this door off, it may be a little bit hard to get it out. You're just going to want to gently pull until everything releases. And then you're going to take it and lift it directly up, holding it out. Now you'll have 2 cables to release. There's a white and a green. The white always goes on top, green always goes on the bottom. You'll just slide them out and lift up, and again slide out and lift up, and then you can take your door panel and put it to the side. So now that our door panel is off, we see our factory 6x9 speaker. We can take out the speaker connection, so pressing in on the tab and just pulling out. Now the factory speaker is held in by 4 10mm bolts. So we can go ahead and remove all 4 of those. So now that we've removed all 4 of those, we can pull this out of the car. So before I actually install the new MB Quart speakers, I want to show you a bit of a size comparison. So you can see overall the MB Quart is a good bit larger, but will also give you the exact same factory plugs for a complete plug-and-play installation. So now, as far as completing the installation, grab our speaker. You can plug it in first, you can plug it in after, doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and just plug it in first. Plug it in, set it in to the door, line up all of our screw, get them started. So now we have them all in there. We can go ahead and get them bolted down. It's as easy as that. Direct plug-in, uses your factory bolts, and now all you have to do is go ahead and put your door panel back on. We're going to start by getting our door lock and our door handle put back in. So again, white on top. So we're going to drop it in, lean it over, click it in, drop it in, bend it over, and make sure it clicks in. So you just want to make sure the door lock works. So once we hang our door, we just want to make sure that these are going to go, our window control wires and our mirror control wires are going to go up through that hole. So get those in there. Hang the door panel back on. Making sure we have these out. Then you can go ahead and just gently press the door panel back in. So now we're on. And now is a good time with your window down just to make sure your door lock and your door handles work. So right now I'm unlocked. I'm good. Locked. Back to unlock. So just to make sure that the cable didn't fall off, because you don't want to put your door panel back on with that door locked if something happens. So from there, we can go ahead and grab our window switch, get our window switch plugged back in. We're just going to slide that in, lock that in, make sure that's in, and then plug in our mirror controls, make sure that's in, flip it over, press it down. So once the window switch is in, we'll work backwards and get it in. We have the two screws that go into the door panel. There'll be one that's a little fatter than the other. That little fatter one goes into the door handle itself. So we'll get that in. We'll go into the door lock and handle. Now we can go ahead and put our trim piece back on, pull out the handle, and just click it right in. Now that is in. We have our push pin retainer up in that top corner, and just push in so it's flat, making sure that doesn't pop out. And now we have our mirror trim. We're just going to slide those white clips back on to the 3 spots that they came off. So now that they're on, we'll just line up the holes in the clips and push back on. So now we're done reassembling the driver's front door. We can go ahead and move to the driver's rear door and get that done. So now we can start with the disassembly of the driver's rear door, very similar to the driver's front door. So we're gonna just get our panel popper behind here, pop off this trim panel, and remove. Again, all 3 white clips stayed in, so we'll go ahead and just get them out. So there's 1, 2, and 3. From there we have the push pin retainer, same as the driver's front door, just push in on it, pop it out. We have the same 2 screws in the pull and the actual handle, as well as we'll pop off the window switch. So first we'll remove the trim piece here, get that out, and then gently going under the window switch and just giving it a quick little pry. Pop that out and unplug the window switch. Now we have the 2 screws that we can grab. First we'll grab the door handle, and then we'll grab the door pull. So removing both of those screws. So now we have everything out. We can go ahead and pull on the door panel to release the pop clips. So pulling that, again, lifting up. And then we have to remove the white cable and pulling out, and then the green cable, just pushing it up and having it release. So now we can set our door panel aside. Now moving on to our factory speaker, go ahead and unplug the speaker connection. And then there are 3 10mm bolts holding that factory speaker in. Get those removed. And then you can just remove from the vehicle. So now to install our brand new MB Quart 7-inch speaker into the rear door. Just take it, everything is ready. Factory plug. So you can go ahead and plug that in first. Making sure you hear that click. And you're going to set it directly in. And it lines up perfectly. Go ahead and grab our factory bolts. Get them started. And then once they're all started, you can go ahead and tighten them completely. So now we've got our speaker in, it's plugged in. We can go ahead and put our rear door panel back on. So to start, we're going to get our cables hooked up. Again, remember, white is on top, green is on the bottom. So get our white one in, locked in. Now our green, get that clipped in. We want to make sure we have our window switch coming out. Get your door panel lined up and on. You'll know when that hole is lined up. Go ahead and push everything back in. From there, we can start, get our window switch plugged back in. Set it, push down. Next, we can get our screws in the door pull as well as the door handle. That one. Now for the door handle. And then we're going to go ahead and put our trim piece back in the door handle. Making sure that clicks in. So now we'll put our push pin retainer back in. Pushing it in flat. And last is our upper trim. We'll go ahead and put those little white clips back on just like we did with the front door. And then lining it all up. pushing it in. Now we're done with the driver's rear door. We can move over to the passenger rear door. So now we can move on to the passenger rear door, exactly like the driver's rear door. So let's get to it. Push in, remove this. Removing the speaker, unplug the speaker wire, and then remove the 3 factory 10mm bolts. So now installing our new MB Quart 7-inch rear speakers. You're just going to do that in reverse order of removing the door. So put the speaker in, get it plugged in, making sure everything's lined up. Put your factory 10mm bolts back in. We can go ahead and tighten those up. So now they're tightened up. Speaker wire is in. We can grab our door panel, get our door panel back on. Again, starting with the white, get that in on top. Green down below. Making sure our window switch wire is in. Hanging our door panel, we're lined up. Go ahead and push that all back on. Start with our 2 screws. 1 and 2. Grab our window switch, get that plugged back in. Push down. Get our trim for our door handle. Put our push clip back in. And lastly, get our white retainer clips back on the trim piece. Lined up and back in. Now that our rear door is put back together, we can move to the passenger front door. So now we can remove the door panel from the front passenger side. Again, exactly like the driver's side. The only difference is the switch will be a little bit different on the windows. So let's go ahead and start getting this thing removed. Pop off the trim, get these little white retaining clips out. Push in. Get that one out. And go through and get the trim for that, as well as the window. So here again, a little bit different. And we can go ahead and remove our 2 screws. So now we'll pop the door panel off, lift up, and then remove both white cable and the green cable. Then we can set door panel aside. So now we can go ahead and remove our speaker. First we'll unplug the factory connection and then remove the 4 10mm bolts. So now installing our new 8x10-inch MB Quart front door speaker. Again, simple process, just like removing your factory speaker. Go ahead and first get it plugged in. Then you can go ahead and get it set in the door, lining up our factory bolts. Once our factory bolts are in place, we can go ahead and tighten them down. So now it's tightened down, speaker wire is in. We can go ahead, grab our door panel and get that replaced. Starting with our cables, white will go on top. Green will go on the bottom. We want to make sure that we have our window and mirror switches out. Go ahead and get lined up, back into place. Push everything back on. Grab your 2 screws, one for the door handle, one for the door pull. Grab your window switch, get those plugged in. Down. Our trim piece back into the door handle. That's back on. And then lastly, put in our push pin retainer there, then put on our little white retainers on the trim piece. Line that up. Get that pushed in. Now, passenger front door panel is complete. We can move to the passenger front tweeter. So now we need to remove the passenger front tweeter. Very, very similar to the driver's side. Going to start with your panel removal tool. Getting underneath that, popping up, and then pulling out towards you. Now on this side you will have a connection for the light sensor. Just unplug that, but make sure you keep that kind of out, because you're going to want to plug that back in at the end. Grab your 10mm either socket or open-ended wrench, and you're going to start removing those 2 factory 10mm bolts. So there's the first one. Second one. So now we can remove that factory tweeter and unplug it. now we have it out. So now let's go ahead and prep our tweeter for this side. Again, we're just gonna slide the tweeter into place, press it into its holder, and then we need to connect the crossover. So again, there's a male and female on either side. So we just wanna lock in male to the female, and then male to the female on the other one. And then we'll put the covers back on. And again, I like to make sure that I have it wrapped up and wire tied. So go ahead and wrap it up. Grab a wire tie and just pull it tight so it's in one little package. Trim off any of the excess. Now you're good to go. So again, just remember, shorter side will go towards the windshield. So we can get that first plugged into our factory connector. Making sure we hear that click. Go ahead and set the crossover inside. And getting our tweeter set. Again, you want to make sure you have the light sensor out. Get our two 10mm bolts started and basically all the way down. So let's snug those two up. So now they're snugged up. We can go ahead and get our light sensor plugged back in. And then get our tweeter grill popped back in. Now our installation is complete of our MB Quart 6-speaker bundle. So now all that's left is for us to go ahead and grab Cliff and take a listen to it.
All right, Sean, we're in the Tacoma. You installed the new MB Quart 6-speaker system, might I say, in record time.
Well, that's how easy it is to actually install.
Yeah, you're fast. You're fast, and that's what folks can expect in their own driveway or garage. So let's give it a listen. I'm pumped. Let's do this.
Let's do it. So I got a little music queued up for you to listen to. So here we go.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, I can feel. That is extremely unique. Like I can feel it. It's very vibrant. Concert is happening here, and in the back. Like it's all around me. Extremely vibrant. I love it. Like I absolutely love it. That's wild. So like an extra 25% speaker. That's the experience.
That's the experience.
Wow, that is killer. What do you think?
I love it. I mean, I listened to it a little bit before you got here.
Yeah.
And I was very, very impressed with just the extra amount of sound.
Yeah.
And more mid-bass, more tweeter.
Yeah.
It's brighter.
Yeah.
It's more in your face, and it's just a better listening experience.
Yeah, the brightness, and I think that's a great way to explain it. Is it feels part of me. It like just sort of becomes part of you. I don't know. I don't have a better way to explain it. It's just all around you, great sounding experience, very bright. It's awesome. I'm super pumped about this. Love great solutions, especially for, directly OEM replacements with the speaker adapter already mounted to the speaker. We're gonna have all the plug and play adapters, an easy installation, and you knocked this one out of the park in record time, might I say. So super excited about this. So how can they get this, Shawnee?
So if you would like any other information or are looking to purchase this MB Quart bundle for the 16 to 23 Toyota Tacoma, you can visit us at trailgridpro.com. And as always, guys, have a blast out there.